Welcome back to the Best in Horror 2020-2021. I'm ML Miller. The forest is often the setting for horror films. The lack of civilization and order makes for a shocking experience for those not used to it. These two films experience the horror of the woods and how that affects the mind in horrifying and disastrous ways. These woods are thick and dark. You've been warned. This is ML Miller Frights' Best in Horror Countdown 2020-2021. Number 11. Coming in at number 11 is Hunted. It was released January 14th, 2021. It's available streaming on Shudder. It's directed by Vincent Paronnaud and written by Vincent Paronnaud, Leah Pernollet, and David H. Pickering. Eve, played by Lucy Debay, is a meek Frenchwoman working in the UK in town on business who leaves her phone in her hotel room in order to get space from an ex-boyfriend who won't stop calling her. This is the first mistake of many Eve makes as she runs into a guy at a bar, played by Arieh Worthalter, and his friend, Ciarán O'Brien, who at first appear harmless and fun, but soon reveal themselves to be sadists bent on abducting and doing terrible things to her. When their car crashes on a country road in the middle of the night, Eve escapes and runs for her life, with the two men in pursuit of her. Hunted is a present-year version of Coralie Fargeat's Revenge from 2018. Just as Fargeat's film was visually stunning and metaphorically potent, Vincent Paronnaud's Hunted is as well in spades. The story is built around a fable told around a campfire at the beginning, mixing shadow puppetry and animation about a young girl persecuted and exploited by a group of men only to befriend the forest around her in order to fight back against them. There is then one of many harsh shifts in perspective and setting to the modern world, full of predators just as treacherous. While the film has a simple theme, and one common in many horror films, that of a passive person struggling to be heard, respected, and simply exist in a harsh and cruel world, the depths with which this film goes is both impressive and awe-inspiring. Hunted is a film best experienced big and loud. It's basically one long chase scene from beginning to end where the pursued becomes the pursuer and back again. This is an extremely unpredictable film that never lets up with creative imagery, out-of-the-blue complications, and scenes you simply won't see anywhere else. The further into the story and deeper into the woods, the more surreal and unnatural this film gets, eventually culminating into a symphony of blood and violence that you simply won't see in any other film. Things get primal and savage as these men and this woman get more and more desperate, with much of the final moments simply being guttural and animalistic screams and grunts. Lucy Debay as Eve and Arieh Worthalter as the guy are both jaw-droppingly good here. Debay plays the literal babe in the woods extremely well. She's dazed, sleep-deprived, and traumatized while attempting to survive the experience with little knowledge of the terrain around her. Later, she snaps and goes full-on Braveheart on her tormentors, which is a believable, impressive, and horrifying turn. Worthalter is marvelous as the ultimate predator. He could have just played the typical blowhard male, but excels at making this role much more individualistic and unique. Worthalter sort of looks like a cross between Joaquin Phoenix and Jason Bateman, and this similarity gives the actor all the more gravitas because of it. There's a deep psychosis at play with Worthalter's character, and it's truly scary. The final battle between Debay and Worthalter is a tussle for the ages, and in a single line, "I love you," you realize just how messed up this entire situation really is. While most fables, especially ones with themes of feminism and female empowerment, are often filled with stereotypical depictions, Hunted breaks from the norm and gives these characters much more meat than necessary, making them all the more real and so much scarier. Director Vincent Paronnaud, who was responsible for the Oscar-nominated animated feature Persepolis, delivers one of the most intense, unpredictable, unique, and visually stunning films of the year. There are sequences in Hunted that you simply won't believe. There are hard transitions from the deeply wooded landscape to a civilized world that is jarring as all get out because you've been immersed in the primordial ooze of this film for so long. It's a wonderful fable come to life, with moments of the basest of terror paired with scenes of sheer enchantment. While there are similarities to Little Red Riding Hood, I think comparing it to that story is not giving this powerful and original fable the credit it deserves. By the time Hunted was over with, I was gasping for breath and scanning the periphery for threats of both man and beast alike. Yes, this is a film about female empowerment, but beyond that, it's a story about desperate survival. It's man against man and man versus the elements at play here, and it's done in a way that is absolutely unforgettable. Don't miss this movie. SATOR is today's bonus review. It was released February 9th, 2021. It's available on demand and digital download from 1091 Pictures. It's directed and written by Jordan Graham. The opening moments of SATOR focuses on an elderly woman we come to know as Nani, played by June Peterson, who talks of her waning sanity and an age-old bond she has with an ancient forest entity called SATOR. She speaks of losing herself while drawing and writing, coming up with messages and images that aren't from her own mind. We then get to know one of her grandsons, Adam, played by Gabriel Nicholson, a loner who lives in a cabin in the middle of the Northern California woodlands. Adam spends his days hunting with his faithful dog and seems to feel not alone in the woods lately. His paranoia seems to be on the rise, and Adam sets up trail cams in hopes to catch a glimpse of this monster in the woods he feels is out there. It seems Adam's entire family has been haunted in one way or another by this powerful entity, and it's finally making its move on the family as Adam gets too close to SATOR's lair. SATOR is a richly atmospheric and mesmerizing film that lures you away from safety and never allows you to return. It's a film that feels absolutely personal as it allows the actors to simply be, moving from one scene to the next with very little lines spoken. There's a sense of dread so thick you can almost touch it in damn near every scene of this little film. Writer-director Jordan Graham tells a story that mixes mental illness, family bonds, and the supernatural in a rich and beautiful way at times, horrifying and nerve-shredding at others. This isn't a happy movie. Everyone in this film is tormented or haunted by something, and while Graham and his actors don't come right out and say it, the feeling is present in every scene. SATOR is not going to be for those who need action every second and constant forward momentum. There are plenty of films out there like that, and I think what sets this film apart from the rest is that it is much more about sitting in the moment and noticing things you most likely wouldn't notice as we move through our day-to-day frantic pace. The film rests its camera and lets things emerge from the darkness. This isn't a film with coming-at-you scares. It keeps the camera steady, and the horror creeps out from a section of the darkness so slowly it makes you feel it's always been there and you're just noticing it. There's a minimalist style to this movie. The actors really only have to stare and react, as most of the time they're alone and facing these horrors by themselves. When there are interactions, they're slow and dreamlike, reminiscent of a David Lynch film, as if everyone caught in SATOR's clutches are slogging hip-deep through their own sorrow and madness. If there's a star here, it's June Peterson as Nani, who delivers a genuine and powerful performance as the matriarch of this very ill family. It appears Peterson didn't live to see this film completed, but SATOR exists as a testament to her subtle yet brutally honest performance of a woman who is losing her memories, yet cannot forget the horror that has been haunting her for her lifetime. Sure, it's creepy seeing Nani shamble around the house, but there's a real sense of reverence and sorrow in these scenes as it captures someone who persists despite many losses. Filled with gorgeous scenery of the California forests, minimalist music, minimalist dialogue, and black spaces that threaten to swallow you up if you gaze too long into them, SATOR is equal parts beauty and terror. The imagery of the demons, when they finally do emerge from the blackness, are horrifying and primal. The animal skull-faced monsters have been used a lot recently in films, such as the Wrong Turn remake, The Heretics, and others, but because of simplistic and natural lighting and their ominous placement on the screen, the look hasn't been more terrifying than it is here. SATOR is reminiscent of The Witch, but more so like art films like Hagazusa, The Heathen's Curse, and Antichrist, which immerses the viewer in dark feelings and thoughts, and never gives them a chance to wash it off when it comes to an end. It's an art house-style film, but one with a very human soul. It bears all and strips the skin from the bone in the way it portrays its haunted and sick characters. The metaphor of mental illness tearing a family apart is abundant in SATOR, making it all the more haunting and unforgettable. I can't wait to see what filmmaker Jordan Graham does next after this extremely personal and soulful achievement. Come back tomorrow for the next installment to the Best in Horror Countdown 2021. If you hit all the pertinent bells and whistles down below, you're sure never to miss it. See you then.
You're doomed to live the life you're meant to be, stuck inside your reality. You're doomed. Oh, you're doomed. You're doomed. You're doomed. Live the life that you are meant to be. Live inside that reality.